What's up, Playground? It's me, Shanila, and welcome to your energy forecast for Summer Solstice 2025. Now, I've been really excited to talk to you about this solstice forecast because it's been percolating in the air for the last 6 months, and there's a really obvious theme that has been smacking everybody across the face. And as soon as I tell you what this theme for this solstice is, you're gonna be like, duh, it's so obvious. But before we get started, I'm gonna need you to grab your tea, grab your kitties, grab your blankets, get cozy. I'm somewhere where it's raining right now, so it doesn't feel super summery, but this portal energy is in the air. Something is shifting, something is changing, things are clearing up. So join me for your energy forecast. Now, long story short, I'll just tell you what the theme is, which is this solstice is all about ending karmic cycles. Ending the things that no longer serve you and like fully getting them out of your hands. Now, a couple of months ago, I also made this episode on the Playground podcast talking to you about how this is a year 9, and year 9 is associated with closure, ending, cycles. It's also a snake year in the year of the zodiac. Lunar cycles, lunar calendars is the year of the snake, which is all about shedding. So I just want to point out to you that there's many different wisdom traditions that are talking about the same thing, just in a different language. And this energy of ending karmic cycles could not be more true to you and true for you than it is right now in this solstice. So let's talk about what the heck karmic cycle is, because whenever you're like being facetious and you're like, karma, I hope karma gets you, da da da. But in wisdom traditions and esoteric studies, when we talk about karma, it's not necessarily this like negative, like, oh, happy get bad karma, like this negative thing. Basically, karma is this pattern of repetition. Things that you put out comes back to you and it continues, because the more you feed something, the more it grows, the more that you nurture and add to something, the more that it blooms and blossoms. That is essentially a karmic cycle. So sometimes we are holding karmas from past lives or ancestors or generational karma, and we're like, oh my gosh, I gotta be all holy and spiritual so that I can clear all this like negative karma from my family. Yeah, that might be like a version of how you tell yourself, but karma is very energetic. And essentially in this particular solstice, what's happening is that you're clearing karmic ties to people, places, things, jobs, relationships, friendships that you just don't need anymore, okay? And the nice thing about this karmic cycle, and maybe once I told you the theme, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel all these endings coming. Is that year 9? Is that the year of the snake? Is that my zodiac? Is this my astrology? Or is this karma that's coming to a completion? So basically the way that you know that something's coming to a completion is that you see an ending. It's like, oh shit, like that friendship has to end, or this relationship has to go, or this, whatever it is that you kind of have been naturally feeling like, I gotta let this go because it's not gonna serve me for this next iteration of who I am, who I've already become, who I'm becoming, who I'm unbecoming. It's not gonna serve this next chapter of me. So I have to let go of certain things. And the way that you get to this ending is in many different forms and ways. It's not like, oh, here's the instructions, here's the blueprint. Sometimes you get to the ending because somebody chose it for you. They broke up with you. They left your ass. You know what I mean? They took it out of your hands. They broke you. They snatched it away from you before you got to make a decision about it, or any kind of action towards it. It was like a very sudden situation. It maybe like been ripped out of your hands, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have this career that I hate anymore. What am I gonna do? Right? Like there's this like relief that comes with that. But sometimes karmic cycles end, but it's been a long time coming. So I would think about it in terms of like, say you're in a relationship that you just know is like, it's not working out, my friend. Like it's just not for you. It's not for your highest self. You've maybe, it has nothing to do whether or not you love a person, or whether or not you care about a person or wish the best for a person. You can love, care, and adore somebody to your death, and it still might not be the right partner for you. And so there is this inner knowing that you might have been kind of, experiencing within yourself, especially in the last 6 months, where you're like, I'm trying to swim up the river here. I'm trying to like make something work that doesn't work for me. I'm trying to, exhaust all my resources. I'm doing this, I'm learning this, I'm trying all these different things, but I am floating, I'm trying to swim against the current and swim against, all the things that I know know is not in alignment for me. And then finally this like portal energy is like, all right, are you ready to let go now? Like, are you done suffering? Are you done, exhausting all your resources because, you wanted to give it a good faith effort. You didn't want to just like leave the relationship. You wanted to try, you wanted to converse, you wanted to communicate, you wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to do something differently, but they chose not to. And so when this karmic cycle ends, there's this big relief that just like, comes over your body. There's this weight that comes out of your shoulder. There's this like expansion in your heart, this expansion in your chest. Your stomach kind of opens up because it's like, wow, we finally just created space for other things to walk into your life. We just created space for this beautiful other relationship or this beautiful friendship or this beautiful, creative opportunity or fill in the blank, like whatever it is. Like you'll know what I'm talking about for your like karmic cycle. And the thing about karmic cycles is that why is it so difficult to let go? Like it's not only in the solstice that you can let go of the cycle. It's just more amplified and magnified right now. But during this like awareness of the fact that you are in a cycle or you are in a pattern, basically what happens is that your inner wounds start to run the show. So it starts to attract the same people or same type of people, same shit, different toilet. You know what I mean? It's like you're attracting the same emotionally unavailable person, or the person who disrespects you, or the person who puts you into your people pleasing, or the group or the community that doesn't see you or serve you or doesn't like value you or validate you or whatever it is that you're seeking to have. You're essentially acting from your wounds. So you think like, oh, I don't do those things anymore. I used to do that when I was 20 or when I was 30 or when I was whatever. You think that was a thing of your past, but then here you are laying in bed with a person who's like triggering the shit out of your inner child, or they're not really willing to give you the emotional security that you're seeking, or the support or the stability that you deserve. Now you're in these friendships that are still extracting, and you thought you were done with these relationships, these friendships, because it's like, oh my gosh, I thought I was like in my abandonment wound or my abandonment energy, so I was attracting these relationships. But now you're an adult and you're still in these interactions. So there's a part of you that stops keep choosing the things that are not in alignment with you. And there's this big one, I already said, relief. And two, there's this big jolt of energy that comes into your body as soon as you let go of something that's not meant for you. And as people, as just human beings who are just trying to fucking figure it out, we don't want to let go of stuff. You're not like, did I try enough? Did I, communicate enough? Maybe I'll say it another 50 times in a different way, or I'll draw a picture so then they'll understand and then they'll value me. And then like you want to try, right? But at the end of a karmic cycle, you understand whether or not that was a pattern that you're repeating and you're just in the same, same shit, different toilet kind of energy, or yeah, it was going to be solved by communicating or whatever it is that you just have to talk to a person and, the problem is resolved. That could be a version of that too. But this summer solstice energy is about cutting karmic ties, okay? And it's not going to be your choice. That's the thing about it. It's like you're pushed to the edge, for better or for worse, and your journey here is not like, oh my gosh, it sucks. Like that might be a part of that, but sometimes it's like, oh wow, I got pushed to the edge so far in that I have no choice but to make the choice. I have no choice but to make the decision. I have no choice but to really stick up for myself and to really honor myself and to really look at how it is that I want to show up for myself in this next iteration of my life or of my existence. So sometimes that means that certain friends don't make it, and certain relationships don't make it, and certain activities that you do in your life don't make it. And there's kind of this like, upveiling. And it's not bad. It's not negative, because I said, like, you can approach this at any way that you want to. It can be just like a big relief where you're like, wow, I'm glad they broke up with me instead of me being the bad guy. I didn't have to be the villain. So you're just like, oh, this feels like a big exhale. That relief is this like constriction in your heart, your chest, and especially your stomach, and especially if you're somebody who just feels like you can't advocate for yourself, you're going to be clenching in this energy, and all of a sudden it feels like this, I just let go. I just let go of things that I just don't need in my life anymore. And a part of ending karmic cycles is that I'm not saying that it's like, oh my gosh, it's such a big relief, that there's nothing hard about it. there is hard things about it. You might be grieving. You might be really sad. You might be going through a breakup. You might be going through, a transition of, redefining how and who it is that you are and who you've become. There might be this like confusion and like transitionatory kind of like figuring out how to use your new skin, new wings kind of thing. And that's okay. That's part of it. But the portal energy, the summer solstice portal energy is saying like, how beautiful it is that you get to do that. So you're not going to be living and existing in misery. So you're not spending another 5 years problem solving the same shit over and over again and begging somebody to listen to you and to hear you and to really understand and care about you. You're not begging and being embarrassing like that. You're letting that go. So there is a grieving process to karmic cycles, especially if you didn't know that you were in a cycle. There's this shadow piece that comes up and you're just like, whoa, wait a second. I didn't understand that I was attracting this type of person to me. And I didn't understand that they were disrespecting me in this way because I love them so much and they love me. But even in love, people can be disrespectful. And even when you care so much about a person and they have so much beauty and gloriousness to them, they can still be shitty to you. They can still withhold affection and love and, care and compassion for you and punish you in certain ways because they're acting from their own wounds too. So in this kind of big exhale and wisdom traditions, they literally measured the way that the solstices would come in. They would pray, they would give offerings, they would, sometimes human sacrifices too, the Mayan culture and many other cultures around the world, you don't have to go sacrifice, but perhaps there's a part of you that gives offerings. You're going to offer something to nature, offer something to the elements, offer something to the water, to the earth, to fire energy, and to air and ether, and say, thank you for cleansing my heart. Thank you for these beautiful sacred tears coming out of my fucking eyes, even though I'm exhausted from crying. I'm tired, the girl's tired. But thank you for this beautiful tears that's letting my energy release things that I just don't know. And I'm going to let my mind not narrate what these tears are. And should I go back? And did I make the wrong choice? Did I make the right choice? I'm not going to question it. I'm going to let the energy speak for itself. Perhaps you do an offering as a dance. Perhaps you do a offering in terms of food, or you bring flowers to Mother Earth, or you do fill in the blanks, right? And I know in capitalistic culture, in colonial culture, we don't really understand about this reciprocity of giving to nature and giving offerings to nature. But this solstice is a beautiful opportunity for you to understand when you release, it's okay for you to ask for support from the spirits of the world, from energies that are existing around you, from elemental spirits, from nature, from the mountains, from the water, from the air, from the fire, from the ether, from your heart, from your body. And so if your body say, my offering is this beautiful dance, or my offering is coloring, my offering is song and music, my offering is stillness and silence, give that. Okay, so your task right now, as you're closing out karmic cycles, is to really, really pay attention to what it is that you closed out. Because perhaps this is a cycle that you've been, lots of lifetimes been repeating. You've been doing the loop-de-loop-de-doo, and you've been doing this merry-go-round, and finally it's like, oh my gosh, the things that my parents weren't able to do, my mom wasn't able to do, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, all these like lineages of people and ancestors in your life were not able to do. It may have been expressed through you now, right? It may have been expressed through you, and all the things that you didn't even know that you were carrying, the programming, the subconscious narrative that you are functioning under, the things that you've been healing through, the shadow work you've been doing, the therapy, the breath work, the dance, the twerking, all of these different things. It's like, oh my gosh, let me actually sit and acknowledge this about myself, because energy healing like this is not for the weak, because your body's going to say, let me go back. Let me go back. Like maybe I made the wrong. Let me go text the ex. Let me go, relive that moment. But you say like, whoa, this is the first time in my life I'm actually advocating for myself, and I feel worthy for what it is that's there on the other side of this. I feel worthy to receive. So can I tell you the second part of this? One, ending karmic cycles. But as I just said, this next part, the second part is that when you let go of something, there's a part of you that's going to deal with worthiness narrative. It doesn't actually know that you're worthy enough to like actually have this partner that is like right here, it's like, or this job or this creative thing or this, career or this project or whatever it is, fill it in for yourself. Your body might say like, wait a second, this is too easy. As soon as I let go of this, why did it show up right here for me? As soon as I let go of that, or that thought, that situation, that person, the relationship, whatever it is for you, as soon as you did that, the thing was like right here. It was right under your nose. It's in your backyard. You start to see your city in a different way, your town in a different way, your friends in a different way. You're just like, whoa, there's beautiful things that I can create here. But now your body might panic. I'm always telling you about nervous system. Your body might panic. Your energetic imprint of your karmic cycle is no longer. So now you're going to have to build a new energetic imprint to receive the things that you were actually already in the gist of. And these things sometimes is just coming out of nowhere. It's like plop, just plopped into onto your lap. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. But sometimes it's like, no, it's been coming with you as you've been releasing. These things have been showing up like little breadcrumbs. And some of the things I've been talking to you about since January, even though my word of the year is flow, my theme of the year is following the breadcrumbs. And as we've approached the summer solstice, it's just become more obvious and obvious that, yeah, just go. Yeah, like that thing, say yes. That thing, I don't mean just like randomly, if it's like obviously like no to your body, that don't just like say yes to everything. But there's certain things it's like, yeah, go into that environment that you're not usually in. Go with that group of people that you're not usually hanging out with. Go say yes to that class or that project or that, thing that feels like just a little bit more expansive. Maybe it feels scary because sometimes expansion feels scary, of course, but sometimes it's just like, oh, it just feels like different. It just feels different because I don't identify as a person who does this. I don't identify as a person who does this, or I do identify as this, but not that. Those things are breaking and it's just really fast. There's something really quantum about how fast it is. So things start to like appear and pop in. So I said two things, right? Ending the karmic cycles, but then also prepping yourself to receive what is on the other side of this. For real, okay? And I'll give you an example as a relationship example where say your partner that say you had a breakup, and there was effort given, there was opportunities given, and it just didn't work out. It's not for the love of it, it just didn't work out. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, whoa, there's these examples of these beautiful other people who would be incredible partners for me. But then your body might say, I feel like I need to be perfect in order to deserve them. I feel like I need to do X, Y, and Z before I could even pursue that. I need to make the money. I need to be secure. I need to be grounded. I need to have da-da-da. Like, don't be a fucking loser, but you don't need 100% of everything in order to grow with a person. And you might not shoot your shot because you feel a little bit terrified of like your worthiness story around it. Like, what if they see that, what if you shoot your shot and then all of a sudden they're like, ew, and like your body's like afraid of that rejection. But in this ending of that karmic cycle is that new beginning to say like, actually, rejection is not as scary as I thought, because being open to rejection actually puts you in the path of opportunity. Being open to being uncomfortable in your nervous system by putting yourself out there in certain ways actually opens the world. Like, that's a scary concept. Like, I have to be okay with rejection in order to receive a thing. And the answer is yes. Like, your body actually has to be okay with saying hi to somebody. And you're like, are they going to roll their, and maybe not even in a romantic way, in a friendship way. And you're like, are they going to roll their eyes at me? They're going to be like, no, you can't sit with us, or you can't come. And isn't that so true? Why we don't like pursue certain things? Because we don't want to experience that. And again, that's from our old wounds. Our wounds says like that time in middle school, or that time in, elementary school when that happened, and that still is living in my body. So that's why I don't say hi to people. That's why I don't, act like I don't want friends, or like you understand, like whatever version that is true for you, there's a part of you that is like, we don't want to get rejected. Like, that sucks. It really sucks. But because you're closing out this karmic cycle, there's a part of you that says like, babe, it's okay. It's okay to like get hurt a little bit, to be honest. Like, it's actually okay to get hurt a little bit. It's okay to be rejected. It's okay to like try something from your own soul and your own desires. There's something really beautiful about trying. And when you try, you open up the possibilities then if you didn't try. That's just math. You know what I mean? It's like you make 0% of the shots that you didn't take. You know what I mean? But if you're like, shoot the shot, like, okay, you have you have more of a statistical chance of making that shot if you tried, right? So the second part of ending that karmic cycle is to see what it is that you don't feel worthy to have. Okay, and look at the wounds that are coming up around worthiness and why it is functioning from your wounds. Why is it that you don't feel worthy to pursue fill in the blank? I'm always like job, relationship, projects, friendships, da, da, da. I'm giving you the boring examples, but there might be something else. Like perhaps there's like a life shift that's coming that you're ready to go pursue now. Okay. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed your energy forecast. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe, and send this video to a bunch of your friends, letting them know that you're in a portal and they're in a portal with you, whether they like it or not. So if you've been witnessing endings of things from other people's lives in your friendship groups, like, oh my gosh, they finally broke up, or oh my gosh, they finally left their job, go ahead and congratulate them. And then be in a manifestation energy together to say like, whoa, we just left an energy. We don't know how to be fully in this new energy, but let's try together. When you try together, it just amplifies, magnifies, and you have evidence that like, whoa, things are shifting, things are quantum leaping. There's this expansion vibe that comes up into the air when you're doing it together. All right. Well, friends, remember the world is your playground. And until next time, I will catch you soon.